I had on the drive-thru, possibly the highlight of that program this past week was me talking about my interaction with the non-mask wearing at the post office. And as a matter of fact, I went in there after we recorded the drive-thru. I went back in, obviously, like I do every day practically, but I went back in and Lib and Mike, the other guy, was on the window. He's like, Mike missed it. He's like, I can't believe I missed this.
Did anyone there warn you or say anything? Because a couple of people wrote in, it must have been on Twitter, and they said, tell Jim not to fight in the post office. It's a federal crime. Did anyone say anything to you there at the post office?
Well, no. When the manager came over and ushered that other guy off to wherever the fuck it was they went, because I never saw him again. Everybody else was quite tickled by just the break in the monotony of their morning routine. But I don't know. Is it a federal crime if you're defending yourself from someone's potentially deadly germs? Plague? I think not. Besides, I'm their best customer. I think they'd have found somebody that said the other guy threw the first punch. Anyway, having said that.
What are you, a tough guy or something?
Yeah, what are you, a tough guy? You look like fucking Jeffrey Epstein on a golf course in a fucking polo shirt. Yeah. Anyway, but we did get an email referencing the general crux of the matter, which is people not wearing masks and these guys, wrestlers, talking about not wearing masks and blah, blah, blah. This letter is from Mr. Garrison's penis, which may or may not be an assumed name. But dear Jim and Brian, there are individuals who are blessed to have attained international status performing in a wrestling ring. Many of them use their clout and name recognition to do great things, urging people to register to vote, mental health awareness, volunteerism, fundraising to quality charities. As I've donated to RAIN because of Mick Foley. Jim, you have told your faithful followers to wise up and take care of their personal health. You've expressed numerous times your post office outfit, which includes not just a mask, but gloves as well. Other individuals have used their status during the pandemic to downplay the urgent use of protective gear, specifically masks, when interacting with the public. These unnamed assholes, I have a feeling we'll probably name a couple here in a second. These unnamed assholes are saying it's their choice to make this decision. One of them has gone on record to say he understands his body better than anyone else and he is willing to take the risk. Unfortunately, it don't work like that. The reality is these inept assholes will disagree with science and endless medical professionals who are advising citizens you need to wear a mask. These reprobates argue with municipalities requiring individuals to wear a mask before they enter a store. They refuse because I guess they don't like being told what to do. I want to thank them for making it very clear where they stand during the pandemic, for clearly expressing their personal beliefs, for using freedom of speech within media such as Twitter. We know what's going on in their head, and it is nothing. To those pieces of shit, those soon-to-be rotting bags of flesh, I say fuck you. Fuck you for not caring about your fellow humans standing next to you. Fuck you for being selfish and only thinking of your personal preference. Fuck you for debating science. And fuck you for making fans at one time even care about you performing in the ring. We know where you might perform, and we will not pay to see you. We will tell promoters not to book you. We will not buy your merchandise. We will not put money for any type of personalized message coming from you. We will not support you in any way possible. This is not a political thing. While many Republicans do not believe in supporting the use of masks, this has nothing to do with politics. Well, some of it does, but nevertheless. This again has everything to do with you putting your own personal desires and inconveniences ahead of the general populace. That's obvious. Your names will not be mentioned in this letter, as I do not wish to give you a lick of press. I want you to go away. I want you to vanish. I want you to no longer become a bookable option for those promotions who might have done so before the pandemic. You can stay away from everybody because you have nowhere to go. Hopefully you will not get sick. Hopefully you will not become ill and require medical treatment by staff who are working 12-plus hour days to save patients who have become compromised because of people like you. A very vehement letter. And so now let's start mentioning some names. Austin Aries, the Napoleon of pro wrestling, the little man with the big man's complex. he actually said he doesn't wear a mask, and you don't have the right to tell him to wear a mask. And I'm not kidding about this, Brian. Tell me if I'm misrepresenting this. He said, because I don't go in the grocery store and pull out all the horrible fattening food and sugar and unhealthy things out of your cart that you use to compromise your immune system. So why should I have to wear a mask? Because you don't like a good immune system. It means you're invulnerable. Bullets, the virus bounces off like bullets off Superman's chest. Here's the difference, you fucking clown. Since you know, I love it when everybody that I've ever said shit about turns out I was right about. Just idiots. I'm not taking my Twinkies and fucking fried pickles and shoving them down your fucking pie hole, Aries. I'm not taking that shit out of my cart and shoving it down your mouth. I'm shoving it down mine. What you're shoving down my mouth is your fucking germs when you're fucking slabbering and not wearing a mask and covering your fucking mouth up. And supposed educated people can't fucking get this. I was wearing a mask at first because I thought, yeah, shit, I'll wear a mask. Won't get any of that on me. Well, then I found out it's not for me, it's for you. And if I'm wearing a goddamn fucking mask, actually, it's still mentally for me too. I want as much fucking, I'm not showing any skin. I want as much goddamn separation between me and everybody else as possible. But if I'm wearing a mask to show you that I'm being considerate and you're standing out there barefaced, slobbering all over everything, fuck you. You've automatically got heat with me. And now before all we had to tell assholes from decent people was the Trump hats. That's the only way we had to tell. Now there's a visual reminder. If you see people out in public around you or other people and are not wearing a mask, that means they're a fucking asshole. And it's just that, and it needs to be the new hate crime. And people are going to start taking fucking sticks and goddamn fucking socks full of coins and beating these non-mask wearing fucks over the head with them is my prediction next. Because just basically showing no goddamn common courtesy or sense or compassion or anything, but you just act like a fucking Republican. Even if you're not one, you're acting like one if you're not wearing a fucking mask. Ignorant, stupid, and an asshole. And fucking, so anyway, Aries, just remember, I'm not shoving my goddamn Twinkies down your fucking neck, so don't shove your turnips down my fucking, go eat some fucking turnips. I still think the whole problem with him is if somebody just did hold him down and shove a nice juicy bacon cheeseburger in his mouth, a smile would come over his face and instantly it'd be like the Grinch on Christmas morning, where suddenly he'd become a human being that people would actually want to fucking associate with again.
Well, I, for one, am shocked that Austin Aries has an ignorant point of view on something. Did you see the, I'm not too familiar with this guy. There's a wrestler, Ethan Page. Did you see his Twitter exchange about Austin Aries?
I'm not familiar with Ethan Page.
Apparently he's a tag team champion in Impact right now.
That might be why I'm not familiar with him.
But after Aries put out his tweet, about going over to your grocery cart and snatching all the bad shit away from you instead of wearing a mask, Ethan Page wrote, I don't know, man. We're all forced to take responsibility for all the stupid, ignorant shit you've done in wrestling. Maybe just wear a mask and shut your annoying bitch ass up. And at that point...
That comes from the people who know him well, though.
And at that point, some fan responded, Austin Aries versus Ethan Page. And then Ethan Page responded, I'll never work with him. This tiny moron wrestled 2 20-minute main event pay-per-view matches with men twice his size and just nipped up afterwards. He has no respect for wrestling. I'd happily open hand slap his little ass backstage, though. Remind him he never actually beat anyone for real. So apparently some real-life heat.
Well, anyway, I don't think anybody will work with fucking Aries after this because he's not going to wear a mask. He's going to slobber all over everybody. And plus it would improve his look. He's aged also. It's terrible when these people that have no good cattle byproduct and they're fucking diet and don't have any grease in their veins that makes their blood flow more smoothly. They just age terribly.
Killer Kowalski, when he got off the meat,
wow,
like his whole body changed, his whole
hair fell out.
Don Leo Jonathan once told me there was a time where he's like, Walter wanted to live on air. No food, no water, just air. And that didn't work out so well.
From what, 1948 to 1955-ish or so, I don't know that Kowalski probably looked better than a Luger, all things considered, in a pre-steroid era, and he was so fucking tall, and then didn't he take a couple of years off from the business when he actually went on the vegetarian thing and lost all that weight, and then he came back and people thought he'd been ill? I heard that at one point.
Yeah, I'm not sure.
But at any rate, he still had the cardio, but boy, that he was just a Greek god when he was younger, and then he kind of had that vegetarian thing, like Jimmy Valiant when he caught hepatitis. Physically he didn't have it anymore.
When did Jimmy Valiant catch hepatitis?
When Jerry Valiant came along.
Because I'm going to say the big question everyone always had was after Jimmy Valiant left the NWA in 88, the next time you see him in either late 89 or early 90, he was like 150 pounds.
No, it was 10 years beforehand. And Jimmy actually, he massively changed his diet, eliminated a lot of, all of the bad substances that he had ingested over his lifetime, and changed his diet also and lost all that weight. But no, the reason that Guy Mitchell became Gentleman Jerry Valiant's because Jimmy Valiant caught hepatitis. And what was it, 1979?
Yeah.
8? Jimmy was here in Tennessee, and he was one of the fucking hottest baby faces. But they wanted him and Johnny back for another run in the WWF as tag team champions, the Valiant Brothers, Handsome Jimmy and Luscious Johnny. And so he was about ready to finish up here and do that run. And I remember Christine Jarrett said to him one night, "Handsome?" She said, "Let me look." She said, "Your eyes are yellow." And the whites of his eyes were starting to turn, and he had been feeling kind of, bleh. And all of a sudden, everybody started looking, and his eyes were yellow. He went to the doctor and had fucking hepatitis. And that's why he not only was finished here for a while, but could not join that spot right away. And that's when Gentleman Jerry came, because they already had figured the Valiant Brothers in, so they made a new Valiant Brother. And then when Jimmy was better, then that's when it became a 3-man team for a while. But Guy Mitchell got a fucking new family and a second, third, fourth career. How many people was he? He was Guy the Stomper Mitchell for the Sheik in Detroit. He was the Masked Strangler for Bruiser in Indianapolis. He was a fucking brother to Bobby Heenan at one time. But his last big run was he got to be a Valiant Brother because Jimmy Valiant got hepatitis.
There had to be someone better they could have gotten to be a Valiant.
He didn't fit the suit to me.
No.
And it was not that he was a bad person, but he was nothing like a Valiant. And to hear him try to go, "Who daddy?" Who daddy?
So just for the record, Jimmy Valiant changed his diet, lost weight, seems like a very happy and chipper guy. Killer Kowalski cut out all the meat, may have gone through a different look with his physique, but by all accounts, a very nice guy. Austin Aries, a tiny grump. No meat.
No meat.